Most people don't live their life fully. Instead, they are stuck in the endless stream of thoughts of fear and shame. They fall asleep while thinking about that terrible future that can suddenly come. You might know this state as anxiety, the poison that drains away your life, productivity, and positive emotions. The sad thing is, everybody knows that fixing your lifestyle, meditating, and removing stress helps, but they are all still anxious. That is because they're ignoring the main cause of anxiety. Let's talk about that. But first, here is what you need to do right now. First, you need to make a deep breath, but not your usual deep breath. First, you need to inhale fully through your nose. And once you did inhale fully, you need to inhale again, forcing a tiny bit more air through your nose. Then exhale slowly through your mouth. That breathing technique surprisingly is shown to reduce anxiety better than meditation. So when you feel especially stressed, you can do a couple of those breaths. Another thing I want you to do right now is to tell yourself out loud that this day will end without trouble. You don't know about tomorrow, you don't know about next month, but this day will end without trouble. The reason why it helps is because fight or flight mode is activated when you feel immediate danger. If your brain understands that there is no immediate danger, then it will ease your anxiety. Now let's talk about the reasons for anxiety. What a lot of people don't understand about anxiety is that it is deeply tied to the previous trauma, and especially to how you process it. The reason why most people have anxiety is because they get used to things suddenly getting bad without them even noticing them approaching. Just imagine you're walking through a forest and suddenly something jumps on you out of the bush, and it happens multiple times. Suddenly what will happen is your brain will start associating any bush with danger. This is exactly what happened to a lot of people. They just lived their life and suddenly something bad happened, something that their brain did not expect. So now their brain associates living life with danger, and that triggers fight or flight mode. There are two things you need to deal with in order to fix this. The first thing is unprocessed trauma. Most people don't know how to process their traumas, and so when something bad happens, they're trying to cope with it, and that doesn't work. That just makes them constantly anxious. And the second thing is mindset. The mindset that you need to prepare for everything. Basically, this incorrect mindset is the result of all these things that suddenly happened to you in life, that you did not control, did not expect, but they happened to you. Now, why anxiety is dangerous, besides, well, obviously being unpleasant? First of all, the intensity of your thoughts will never protect you from anything. It's an illusion of your brain. Imagine there is a nuclear bomb falling on you right now. Will anything that you think actually matter to stop it? Probably not, right? If it's already fallen on you, it doesn't matter what you think. The same thing is with your life. Your constant negative thoughts will not do anything to prevent anything bad. They are just gonna make your life worse. The second thing is that the constant talk in your head will prevent you from fully feeling the pain of the previous trauma, which means you will not be able to suffer fully. That may sound like a good thing, but if you don't suffer fully, you will not get over it, which means this background suffering will stay and will prevent you from living fully. Imagine there is a man. He went to a war. He lost his friends, he suffered, but he did not die. He survived. He returns back home to find out that his wife cheated on him, and then his whole previous life is basically ruined. He has no friends, he has no wife. So what does he do? He starts drinking and rewatching old videos of his wife and him all happy. If you look at them from your perspective, it may seem to you like he's suffering. And to some degree he is. But what all of this actually is that he's trying to minimize his suffering. He's trying to run away from it. He lives as if he's on anesthesia. And that is how most people react to something like this. And this is extremely incorrect. This only leads to feeling more unfulfilled with life. The solution to all of this is not to try to run away from the trauma. Because look, nobody explained it to you, so I have to. There are moments in life when there is nothing to say. When you just need to sit and realize the whole situation, the whole depth of what happened. And you will want to run away. You will start getting thoughts about doing this thing or that thing. But no. You have to continue sitting there and realizing, thinking about everything that happened, repeating that yes, this really happened, yes, for real, this actually happened, I did not imagine this, this actually happened. And of course it will be hard, because if it's a traumatic experience, then sometimes it's even hard to remember about it. But that's the point. Either you suffer one time, processing it properly, realizing what happened, or you suffer for a long time. Because unless you sit there one time, maybe for hours, and really actually understand that this did happen and you cannot do anything about it, this will be coming back to you again and again. That's what most people don't understand. The next thing I will tell you is that life is unfair. You don't control a lot of things in life. For instance, you cannot control somebody ramming into you when you're driving. However, Even though you do not control a lot of things in life, you are responsible for all of them. Because if somebody rammed their car into you, it's your responsibility to deal with it. It's your life. Nobody's gonna deal with it for you. And so what you need to understand and accept is that fighting this inherent unfairness of life is pointless. I'm not saying fighting any unfairness is pointless. And I'm not talking about human-made unfairness right now. I'm talking about life being inherently unfair in that way I described. So you need to accept that things that are not your fault will happen to you. And nothing you can do or think will prevent them from happening. The only thing you can do about those things is to stop reacting to them and start acting about them. I'll give you an example so that you understand what I mean. If there is a nuke being dropped on your head, it's probably not your fault. But it's completely pointless to sit there and think, well, life is very unfair. I did nothing wrong and there is a nuke falling on me right now. Sure, okay, you may be right. But sitting there and crying about it will not change the situation. Pack your things, move to your basement. That's what will help. So what I'm saying is, in order to stop being anxious, you need to drop this mindset of needing to prepare for everything. Because it is impossible to prepare for everything. It is only possible to act correctly when it already happened. Next thing I want to tell you is that in order to remove anxiety, in order to fully remove anxiety, you need to remove things that fundamentally make you lose your balance. Those things are fear and shame. And not just any fear and shame, but specifically fear of missing out, shame for your actions, or shame for your position in life, shame for your past mistakes. All of this social fear and social shame generally makes people much more anxious. So as a final step of removing anxiety, you need to remove social fear and shame. Another mindset shift that you need to have is you need to develop a feeling of unexplained, not unexplainable, but unexplained confidence that everything will end up fine. As when you're watching some shitty anime and after 200 episodes, you stop worrying about the main character. You just know that they will overcome everything. You don't know exactly how, but you are absolutely sure that they will. You need to put yourself in place of that main character. Now, that advice is a little bit tricky because for every person, the recipe for that confidence will be different. Some people can just switch into that mindset as soon as they learn about it. Others need something else to develop that kind of confidence. One more thing I want to tell you is that you need to stop associating yourself with your emotions. Your emotions are not really you. It's better to treat your emotions and think of them as just suggestions from your brain. It doesn't mean you actually must feel this way. By the way, this is where meditation comes into play, because meditation teaches exactly that. So if you meditate a lot and learn to actually not associate your thoughts with you, then this will help you. And so the final conclusion is, someone wasted his youth, someone lost those close to him, someone achieved nothing in his life. But it is pointless to run away from all that. Like in that scene from Fight Club, you need to accept the pain, not hide in a cave with a penguin. So now you know what to do. The rest is on you. Remember, discipline is freedom, and I see you in the next one.